Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be reading a multi-character exterior by me, so let's get into it. Child. Child is not an early riser or someone who actually goes to bed early. So when you're sleeping, he'd still be sitting right next to you, pondering and thinking. Or maybe he'll be out. It depends all on his mood. But when you had that particular nightmare, he was right next to you. And you saw it in the way you scrunched your eyebrows, and in the way you trembled, mumbling things that didn't make sense to him. As you started trembling and squirming around. At first, he simply called out your name, but when he didn't listen, he put his hands on your shoulder, trying to gently shake you awake. Wyan. Wyan? Come on, wake up, he kept saying. And when you finally woke up, he held you close to him, reassuring you, murmuring over and over that he was right there by his side. As you're still shaken by the nightmare, he would hold you, and if you didn't want to sleep, then he was totally up for it, staying with you for as long as you needed him. And he knew that as long as Child was with you, you'd be safe from all harm. Albedo. Albedo had gone through many nightmares himself, and that was why he would always hold you in your sleep. But this time he was late, and that's why he slept without being able to hold you, which meant that eventually you got nightmares because you didn't feel his warm arms around you. They kept you warm and safe, even in your sleep. And when you didn't feel them around you, you knew you were having a dumb nightmare, but it was a nightmare nonetheless. And that was why you woke up crying, scared, which eventually woke Albedo up. At first, he tried to tell him there was nothing, but he wasn't stupid. So he held your hand, kissing it, and then kept your face in his hand, wiping away your tears. Nightmare? He nodded, and he just softened, quiet, knowing just what he had to do. He turned on the nightlight, then hugged you close to him, pressing you close to his chest as he stroked your hair with one hand, one arm around your waist, hoping that by holding you like this, he'd provide you enough safety to be able to go back to sleep. Venti. I'm sorry to inform you that Venti will probably not be around most of the time. However, when he was around, he would take you stargazing. He knew you probably would not want to sleep, because whenever he had nightmares himself, he hated the idea of sleeping. So maybe watching the stars would relax you, as the two of you cuddled together and tried to name the constellations in the sky. Venti tried to reassure you by cracking jokes and smiling, and maybe even singing you a song. Kazuha. Kazuha had many nightmares plague him after Thoma's death, so that's why he was quite familiar with having to deal with them. But that didn't mean it was pleasant. So seeing you undergo that, it wasn't good to him either. Which is why we noticed that you were waking up late a couple of days in a row. He suspected it might not be normal, and I tried to be more careful, staying up and seeing what was going on until he saw the trembling and heard the whimpers, the little mumbles in your sleep, as you begged whoever it was in your dream to stop from hurting you. He was weirded out, but right now was not the time for questions, so he just held you, waking you up and trying to calm you down, because you were scared, even though he was right there. And eventually, after you calmed down, he asked you what was wrong and why you were so scared in the first place. Who was that person? Because if someone was hurting you, then he was going to deal with them personally. Scaramouche. The boy had cried too much in his sleep. What do you expect from him? He was probably going to be uncomfortable, but he would still wake you up because he didn't want you to have the nightmare and keep it on going. He would give you a glass of water, and he would be quieter than usual, telling you that you could go back to sleep if you wanted, and that he was going to stay up and watch over you. He was an angel, deep inside, but he was still trying, and he still had many problems himself. But for now, that small little gesture was enough for you. As you slept, how Scaramouche held you, watching over you like a guardian angel. Xiao would be very upset at the nightmare, because how dare it happen to you? But silliness aside, he would wake you up quickly, and he would ask if you wanted to go on a walk. He didn't ask you about the content of your dreams, having been one to always be discreet about his own dreams, because he thought that telling them would make it worse or something. He knew it was unrealistic and probably false, but he couldn't help the fear inside of him. But regardless, he'd still be there for you, holding your hand as it seemed you go on a little walk before going back to sleep. Sometimes, a walk with him was all you needed to get your mind off of those little things. Thoma. Thoma was always ready for anything and everything. He wanted you to be perfectly comfortable. So if you have a nightmare, he makes sure to wake you up quickly and gently, and he would hug you until you had calmed down. And then he would ask you for permission to go and get you something. Maybe it would be biscuits, or some chocolate, and water, of course. Something nice, and something that you'd like. And after that, he would grab a book, telling you to cuddle close to him, and wrapping his arms around you, kissing your cheeks as you wiped away your tears, and slowly, with a soothing voice, began reading the book out to you, slowly putting you to sleep.